Yeah, just
But
as
you never
live
know.
there now.
Oh, I have a clock, Dave. I have a clock. Okay,
Yep.
there you are now. Right, folks, a very warm welcome to this Thursday's edition of the Chat at 8, where each week we invite one of you to come on here and just have a casual chat, like we're having a cup of coffee or a pint at a bar, on a bar stool. With me this week is Dave Carney, who is a massive Munster fan, should we say. Dave, how the hell are you? Are you well in yourself?
I'm grand, Pete. How are you keeping, bud? Thanks very much for inviting me on this thing. Anyway, nice one. Yeah, all good, all good, all good.
Not at all. Not.
Quite happy with it.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Come here, Dave. I ask everyone this. Where were you born? Where were you brought up? And where are you chatting with us now tonight at the moment?
I was born in Limerick, raised from, if anyone knows Limerick, Woodland Park originally, which would be out towards the east side of the city, and living in Limerick still, just not far from home actually. My mum and dad's home. So in St Patrick's Gardens there, Aspen Gardens there in St Patrick's Road. So not that far from where I grew
Very
up.
good. All right. Very good. And where did the love or the interest in rugby come from? Did you go to a rugby playing school, or how did that happen?
No, no, no. No. Well, I would have. Yeah, I went to St Enda's, but it's closed now. But that was a big rugby school in this day. It was very, very prominent. Would have been St Enda's, and it would have been all or it'd been Crescent. Crescent would have been another big one. Menard Skull Reach and all them. But my love of rugby started with my dad. God rest his soul. But used to bring me out to Thomond Park in the old days for the old AIL, what was the old AIL games, and go out to all of them big matches and stuff like that. Yeah, a couple of the once provincial matches when they were happening in the old days. Yeah, when there was only the three matches, you know. So it was my dad really brought me
Yeah.
out to Thomond Park. So he got me into Munster. Then from there, just spiraled on, like, because everything's, yourself, like. But yeah, and I mean, Limerick
And
anyway, like, I mean, in Limerick anyway, like, I mean, rugby's, you're born into a club, you're born into a club, but you're not introduced into a club, you know. That's the way it is, you know. I mean, every family has their own club and they
yeah.
stick
And
with it.
did you? What? Sorry, I missed that, Dave. What's your club? Did you say?
Young Munsters would be the club I would have always followed.
Okay. And did you play rugby yourself, Dave?
I did, yeah. I played up till I was about 19, but I had to give it up due to an injury then. So that was the end of that. Just one of those things. Just
Okay. And what
what happened
and
to me?
what no, I was going to say, what position did you play?
I started a scrum half, would you believe?
You did in your
Yeah,
fucking hole, did you?
I did. I'm only 5'6". But yeah, I started a scrum half. I played in the backs for a bit, and then I went in the ten hooker for a bit, and that's the way things go.
Yeah, and what was the injury that you said? I missed the injury thing there because I think you froze. Our life
I
froze.
fractured what's called your T5, which is between your shoulder blades, and I
Oh,
fractured the vertebra. But I was
oh,
told
oh.
inch and a half, top or bottom, and I'd have been paraplegic basically from the neck down. But they said if I wanted to go back, I could go back, but it's too much of a risk. So I said,
Fucking hell!
I'll
And
go to
was
support
that?
this side of things.
But come here, was that? Did that happen in a tackle or was it a
I
collapse
went in.
scrum?
No, I went in there a tackle wrong, basically. I went in the wrong way into attack. My head was on the wrong side, and as the tackle went in, then my head my head got caught behind another player, and just complete accident. And another player from my side came in and drove me in and further. And I just wasn't feeling great. I went to the sideline and collapsed. But it was just shock. My body just went into shock. But it was just one of those things, you know.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ. And how long was the recovery from that?
Oh no, it was grand. In terms of I went there like in terms of recovery wise, I was only in hospital for about a week. But like that was until I was flat on my back for about a week, but that was till they determined the extent of what it could be and whether I'd be okay. And they were getting specialists in to have a look at it. And I was outside in Croom and stuff like that, which would be the bone clinic in Limerick, like. And they just said at the end of it, he said, look, he says it's a fracture, it's not a break. So you're lucky in that way. But just wouldn't recommend going back to full contact type sport because
you could.
How
old were you?
I was 18.
How old were you? 18. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, my God, that's a very young age to be forced to retire from anything, let alone sport.
Look, I mean, it just happens. That's the way things go, you know. I mean, it's well before anything was. I mean, we were still only messing around, and you know what I mean. It wasn't anything. How would you put it? I wasn't going to be a serious rugby player, like, you know. So it didn't affect me that much. I was well before all professional, and it really took off and everything like that. So it's, you know. Just one of those things.
You're like me, Dave. You're like me, Dave. I gave it up when I left school. Didn't play for a club or nothing. I just played all my school life, and that was it. Done, dusted. Good luck. Anyway, did you get involved in rugby afterwards, Dave? Did you get into the coaching or anything like that sort of thing? Or?
No, that was mainly down to my job, really, because I do shift work. So I would say. I kind of went off and would say saw the world and did all this. I'm a sparks by trade. I'm an electrician by trade. But I went off to Australia and did all that crack and did a bit of traveling around and came home then and settled down, wife and kids and all that. But coaching, I'd have loved to have done it, but you need to have your weekends off. You have to make a good commitment to even at a very junior level. I mean, people talk, if you go into coaching and this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, I think one of the most important coaches are the lads that are doing all the juniors, doing all the kids. I mean, I have great respect for them. I mean, they have lads like, and I'm talking about the smallies, the real smallies, because that's where the interest starts. And that's how, if you have a fella there, it's a good coach and he's getting them out, he's the patience of a saint, like, and he's getting them going and getting them and everything like that. But you have to, that's commitment. Like, I mean, that's every weekend. And I just couldn't put in that every weekend. So it was the joys of it.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it, but just life takes over, as the saying goes.
Yeah, look, I fucking know. I hear you, Dave. Come here. Do you remember our online bets we used to do?
I do. I lost enough of them. I was true to my word, though. I did. I'll tell you the gas one. I'll tell you a gas one about. I suppose you better tell people about the bets first, and then I'll explain about the jersey.
Well, okay. I'll explain, and then you can explain the results and all that. Myself and Dave, me being obviously a Leinster fan, Dave being a huge Munster fan, we had a couple of bets. It must be 4, 5, 6 years ago, Dave, at this stage, is it?
Easily. Yeah.
But we both had a bet that when Leinster were playing Munster, whichever team won, the loser had to wear the other team's jersey. Now, fortunately, I never
prove it. Yes,
prove it. Yes. Oh yeah, prove it. Yes. So photograph online. So I never lost. So unfortunately, Dave, I think it was twice. Was it you lost? Was it twice?
Yeah, at least twice. Not 3 times. I think it was 3 times. And after that, I just decided to give up the ghost in it. But yeah, but the story, like you've seen the photos and me with the jersey on, but there's a very interesting story behind that Leinster jersey. I didn't buy that Leinster jersey. I swapped that Leinster jersey. We were over in Toulouse. Munster were playing over in Toulouse against, as far as I know, we were in Toulouse, but we were playing Montauban in the Heineken Cup, but we were staying in Toulouse. And we were inside in the bar afterwards, and these group of Munster lads came in, and one lad had a Leinster jersey on. And what it was his stag weekend away, and he was a Munster man, but the lads made him wear a Leinster jersey. But one of his tasks he had to do as a stag was get a Munster man to swap a jersey with him. And I said, for the crack, I said, I'll do it.
Oh,
So I swapped my Munster jersey with his Leinster one, and I held on for it for all that. There's a good story behind it as well. So yeah, although my wife doesn't like me seeing it on.
Yeah, but it's a lovely jersey. I will say it's a lovely jersey.
Yeah, it's an old one, like it's the old Bank of Scotland one, like yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. Kabir, are you still involved in the MRSC?
No, I'm gone out of it about 2 years. I was involved for about 10 years with it, about 10 years altogether.
Yeah.
But I just passed on the parcel, as the saying goes. There's a lot involved in it, and you can, it's brilliant to be involved in it. And there's great benefit in terms of, we'll say, you get to see a bit more insight into Munster, into how a rugby club professional rugby club has been running, and you're involved with day-to-day stuff, and I got to meet some great people involved with Munster and stuff like that. It's at the end of it, we're not getting paid for it. It's all volunteer work. There's no monetary value to it.
Yeah.
It's just, as I said, look, you get to meet some great people. I mean, we had Dougie Howlett was our MRC manager for 3 or 4 seasons, 2 seasons, and I used to be sitting around the table with Dougie Howlett chatting and stuff like that, and I thought I'd never see that. I'd made myself doing that, but yeah, so it's been good. You get an insight into that, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but Dougie Howlett comes across as being a very nice man.
He's pure gentleman, absolute gentleman, very approachable guy to talk to. It's very rare. I think it's very rare anyway. You meet a rugby player that's especially an Irish rugby player. I feel that would be anyway non-approachable. I've yet to meet one from either Munster or Leinster. I have. I mean, the next Leinster players, and 1 or 2 of them even. I mean, you have a crack. And you see, I suppose maybe I don't know whether it's myself or whatever when I break the ice with it. But say, I mean, especially with my name, which was always the funny thing, like, because Dave Carney.
Yeah.
And I have a brother called Rob as well. That's the other thing.
Called Rob.
I have a brother called Rob. Rob Carney. So yeah. Sir, I'll tell you a good one. We were in when I was with the MRSC, we used to do these things. We used to do parents' night for the so we get all the players' parents and all the academy players' parents, and we do a night out for them. The idea being that the senior parents would give a little insight into, the academy parents, and they get to meet them. And we form good friendships now with a lot of the players' parents, like the likes of, say, Connor's dad, Jerry, good friends with Jerry, like, still, he's a good lad. But we were over in Spanish Point, was where it was on. And so I was booking into the hotel and said who it was and this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, the hotel then were getting phone calls from the local paper because they knew there was a rugby event on up there, and they thought it was Dave Carney of Leinster fame, we call it. So yeah, it was quite hilarious when I had to tell him, no, not me, not that the fella. So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, no, as I said, getting back in the MRC, yeah, it was. It's great. It's great. It's there's a lot of work involved, and it's how would you put it? Sometimes it can be a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes you can feel like you're kind of going,
Political.
"Why am I doing this?" No, well, there is that. Oh yeah, there is that element of
Oh,
it. Very, very much so. But a lot of the time, it can be some of the supporters think that you have the answers for everything, and you're looking at
yeah,
them
yeah,
going,
yeah,
"I don't. I'm on the committee. I try my best to help with it, everything I could when I was on it. But there is times when, I
yeah.
mean, some people can just be acting like they're 4 years old. I mean, we used to do. I mean, the Christmas parties used to be great crack as well. We used to have to do a Christmas party for the kids outside in Thomond Park. That was very good. It was great
Yeah.
times for those, and all the players would be there as well. And the kids would get all their jerseys signed, and they'd have a big photo shoot opportunities and stuff. So that's still going. That's very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was good. Good time.
I'd say
Good
the
Sunday.
kids love that. Yeah, I'd say the kids
Absolutely,
love that.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I did my
Come
part
here.
to Santi.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, come here. No fake beard needed. You know. Come here. What was the last rugby match you were at, Dave?
Last rugby match I was at was Northampton, over in Northampton. Their last 16 round. Yeah, that was the last one we were at. So yeah,
What?
so I
What's
was
the
good
next
weekend
one?
away.
What's the next one you're planning to
Uh,
go to? Are you going? What's the
uh,
next game you're planning? Are you going to the Connacht match?
no, I can't go to the Connacht match because my beautiful niece is getting married that day. So it's got to a wedding,
Oh,
unfortunately.
so
Yeah, she couldn't plan it
are you
like.
going to the?
I'm going to the
So hold
Ulster
on.
one.
So
The Ulster
you're.
one will be.
I was going to say your next three games are you're home to Connacht, you're away to
Home to
Edinburgh,
Connacht, away,
and
away to Edinburgh, and then home to Ulster
then you're home to Ulster.
on the 1st of June.
How do you think those three games are going to go for you?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I was blown away by the way we played over in South Africa.
Yeah,
Absolutely blown away. It's like
most people were.
it's like a difference. Personally speaking, I think we'll win our next three, and I think we'll get a home quarter final. That's the way. That's the way
Okay.
I feel myself.
Actually,
The squad seems to be coming back together.
Sorry, Dave. I was going to ask you who. I don't know what the permutations are, but who is your or can we work it out? Actually, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Your potential quarterfinal.
Oh God knows, Pete. It's way too tight. So there's 11 teams. 11 teams.
Potential quarterfinal.
Yeah. There's so many teams so close.
Yeah, no, it's just
I mean, like there's I mean, at the end of the day, there's a possibility of any of those 11 teams getting 15 points. Do you know? In reality, and it's too tight to call. Like it's way I'd say even on the last round, I'd say people are still won't know. I don't think they will until the very end. It's so tight. But it's great for the competition. Absolutely great. But would you ever contemplate?
But the only
would you ever come? What? Sorry.
No, go on. You're going to ask me a question. Go on.
Oh yeah. Would you ever? Have you ever contemplating going to South Africa for a tour over there?
I've contemplated it, yeah, but my wife contemplated it more for me, and
yeah.
So
well worth it.
You know. I can barely get to a game myself because normally the missus does stuff at the weekend and I have to babysit and mind and do other stuff and all that. So anyway,
Right.
that's another thing. I was going to ask you something. What the hell was I going to ask? Yes, you mentioned South Africa there, Dave,
Yeah.
and the performance that Munster did. Yes, absolutely damn impressive. Very, I think everyone. I like going to South Africa is tough for any
Yeah.
team, be it Irish
Yeah.
or Scots or Welsh. It's a tough trip. But
Oh yeah.
on last night's show, I brought this up, right? Munster are 5-for-5 in South Africa. If you go back to they're 4-0 in South Africa, but the
Yeah.
record
Yeah.
is
I get
5-5.
you.
5-0 in South Africa, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're 0-for-4. They're 0-for-4 against Irish opposition. So is it just that Munster like playing in? Is it just that Munster like playing in South Africa, or
No.
are they just peaking in South
think.
Africa, or what's going on?
No. I think personally myself is a lot of it has to do with what players have come back. I mean, to be honest with you, the likes of Sineman, which he's made an insane difference since he's come back in the offloads. But I don't think it's anything to do with the South African scenario. And I mean, I think it's just the timing of the games. That's why I'm feeling confident about us beating Connacht next week. Next week.
Yeah,
definitely. The team is on fire at the moment, and I mean, even the way I think they've approached it a lot better, and the way they didn't stay up at altitude between the Bulls game and the Lions game, which some people might find a bit weird, but I thought they brought them back down to Cape Town, comfort zone, and then brought them back up. I mean, I always find it gas when people talk about, South Africa and they say like, oh, they're playing at altitude while they're playing it. I mean, Carrantoul is 800 meters and they're playing at 1,300 meters. So when you say that to people, they kind of go, all right. I mean, they play, for what they're playing. I mean, when teams go over there and play, it has to affect players. I mean, yeah, I get you.
I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, look, last season was a bit freakish in terms of they bonded together as a team and they went away and they played all their matches away. Every game was an away game. Every game was a knockout game. But already, Roundtree is already saying we're into knockout rugby now. I know it's not Heineken Cup. Fair enough. I don't think we're back to that level in any way, shape, or form yet. Anyway, but I mean, in terms of
that's interesting. That's interesting. You think that?
Well, we're not at Heineken Cup level.
No, it's just
it?
Yeah.
No. There's still. I feel we'll be in contention. It's we need a run with players and a set run. I mean, I know that you do squad rotation. That's fair enough. I mean, we'll say take Leinster. Leinster, I don't know, did they do the right thing? Not sending over some of their players to South Africa?
No.
I mean,
no, they didn't.
They could have sent them over
I can understand it though, Dave. I can understand why.
But they could have sent them over for one of the games, if you know what I mean, and brought them back on the second one. Maybe. Do I mean, you need to be hot going into games. Like that's my only fear now for Leinster this weekend. I know that you have a cracking team. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like Northampton are going in battle hardened this weekend. They know what's in front of them. Leinster have rested all their senior squad. You need to be going week in, week out. I feel that's only my opinion. But I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
no. I see. There's a comment in there, Dave, from one of Ulster's finest supporters, David Topping. He says, "Evening, gents from out the Galvin Hospital. Been here all week. Some cracking rugby coming up." David Topping, I hope you're not in hospital for too much longer. Whatever ailment you're suffering from. Yeah. Joe Lyons, Joe's a good guy. I think Munster's time in South Africa has fallen at the right time, so they have headed down with loaded teams as they were no longer in the European Cup. Not taken away from them, but it's a massive element in winning. Yes, absolutely, Joe. Yeah, true. Very true. I was going to say, Dave, what's your opinion? I know there was an uproar about this. Your opinion on Snyman moving to Leinster?
Professional game. The end of the day. Personally speaking, right, there is the problem there where, right, Snyman had to go because it was a choice between Klein and Snyman. That's fair enough. That comes into play. I think because of when the rule came in about players being able to switch their nationality status, then something should have been incorporated in with the Irish setup. They seem to be stuck with this because of Ireland being successful in rugby, but they now seem to be afraid to move to anything else for fear of upsetting the whole balance or their status or their level. And what that to me kind of scares me in one way, because it means that is the RFU sticking with one scenario and hoping that this is going to stay. They have to change things, and I don't think they are. And that's what could be detriment to both on the national level and the club level, as in province level. And I mean, people are talking about, right, Leinster have all these players on central contracts, and they all deserve them. Don't get me wrong. There's not one player that I wouldn't think doesn't deserve it. I've no issues with that. But I mean, the other side of it is, people will say, take with Barrett. I mean, you're getting Barrett for 6 months. But I don't know why people are getting an uproar of it. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We've signed some of the most amazing rugby players in the world. I mean, all right, Christian Cullen, I know it didn't work out for us. Christian Cullen was probably the best fullback, one of the best fullbacks ever played rugby. But he didn't play because he was injured. I mean, that's here to here. Doug Howlett.
Dave, I was just going to say, you mentioned him earlier, Dougie Howlett. You had the other guy whose name escapes me now. I think he was a lock, big, tall lad. What's his name? Was it Jim? Oh, I can't think of his bloody name now.
Jim Williams.
Big, tall lad. Jim Williams. There you go. Yeah.
Jim Williams.
Yeah, I mean, we've had it.
Yeah, I mean, she did with Pienaar. Personally, I can't wait to see the likes of Barrett playing down in Thomond Park next Christmas. I'll be looking forward to it. As a rugby person, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Let's not dive from the fact. Like, at the end of the day, it's a business. This is their jobs. This profession, they're trying to get the best out of their jobs. Now, I mean, I know for a fact, like with Snyman, he's going for a year, but it's no secret he's going to Bath after Leinster because he'll have his passport. That's the truth. Like,
I think, yeah. And come here, we're nearly half an hour up. Jesus Christ, Dave! Time flies when you're having fun. I said I'd only keep you half an hour, so anyway. Look, we'll go on for another couple of minutes. We won't constrain ourselves to time. When the chat is over, we'll finish. What if I was to say to you, if you were to give me your current favorite player, and then your favorite player who's retired or no longer with us or no longer playing the game from past. So your current and past.
Current favorite player at the moment. Actually, I'll tell you who it is. In my jacket at the moment, it's Calvin Nash. He is just playing out of his skin at the moment. He's come on leaps and bounds. And I know everybody think we go forward, but I mean, there's plenty too. But I just think Calvin Nash he's just playing unbelievable rugby at the moment. He can't put a foot wrong at the moment. Worst thing could happen to him now is, Jesus, touch wood, is he get a proper injury. You know, he jumped onto that Irish team and he was fantastic. You know, he's just favorite player, ex-player, David Campese. David Campese. I've seen David Campese play in a World Cup semi-final in Dublin. And my God, against New Zealand. But he was just gifted in his day. Gifted. So yeah,
we had David Campese on our we had David Campese on our Wednesday show. A good few months back. He was a great player in his day. He's odd to say. He's not.
Well, I'm not talking personality-wise, but I mean, in terms of what he was able to do on the pitch, is a different story. You know, I mean, I know everybody goes on the classic routes, if we say Joe Lomo, and you know, but I like to look at players in a different way sometimes. You know, and players that not necessarily like. I mean, look, there's been some fantastic, unbelievable players that play with both Munster and with Ireland and with Leinster. I mean, look, Brian O'Driscoll was just on a different level. Always was on a different level. But just in terms of players that I've watched over the years, it was just Campese was ahead of his time.
Yeah. Joe Lyons says John de Villiers was a quality player too.
Yeah, he was great. But he didn't play that great with Munster. If you remember, he was dropped. He was actually dropped for a Heineken Cup game. And he had to force his way back into the team because he just wasn't playing well. But I heard a very interesting fact, actually, about rugby players. And it can take with any player coming to any team, it can take between 3 weeks and 18 months for a player to settle in, depending on their circumstance, surroundings. I mean, a lot of people automatically assume, like, a player, take Jordie Barrett, right, comes over to Ireland and he settles in. And everybody thinks, Jordie Barrett's going to go out and he's going to be playing like he's playing all this. But no one sees everybody only sees the 80 minutes. Nobody sees the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Nobody sees when he goes home. Nobody sees when he's sitting down or, his missus is there. It's a job at the end of the day. It's a beautiful sport and we all love it. But there's an outside scenarios that influence players and any person. That's the way I view it anyway, you know. Challenge for...
There's another comment there, Dave, from Joe Lyons. Yeah, challenge for Nash is when Hansen comes back. Can't see Nash retaining his place over Mac, but he's definitely skittled into the Irish team very well. Or X Factor-ish, I think he's talking to.
Definitely. Definitely. And listen, I hope Mac Hansen does come back well. But the problem is I've seen him with other players.
What you mean, Joe, I would tend to agree with you. But what?
I hope Mac Hansen does come back and does play as well. With an injury like that, I mean, I've seen it happen with other players. I mean, you look at like Simon Zebo, the time he got injured, and everybody thought Zebo was the X factor for everything. And then You know, that's the way the end thing. Now, he's impressed me big time since he's come back again. You know, he seems to be playing better rugby now than he ever did. I know you're not a great fan, Pete.
Yeah. I
But
listen. I was a fan when he had the green shirt on. But I just think Zebo is just. I think he's a one-trick pony, basically.
yeah, but the one
Maybe
trick
that's
pony
unfair.
is that he
I don't know.
scored
Anyway,
tries.
who cares what I fucking think anyway? So yeah, he does. So does Finn Russell, but Finn Russell is so fucking shite. So but come here. I was going to say the one thing I was going to say. Again, this came up on last night's show. I have been really impressed with Alex Kendall. I watched that game, last week's game, and I was looking at his stats. Jesus Christ, Dave! 24 tackles out of 24 Kendall made. I was looking at his rush attack, his tackles, his speed to ruck. He's really impressed me, and the way he's come on. He impressed me when he was under 20s for Ireland, but at the moment he's playing out of his skin.
Yeah, it's definitely come on big time. Definitely, definitely but it's like we'll say last year we had Coombs, right? Everybody, and I think I'll be honest with you, I think what happened with Coombs was everybody was pushing him that he was going to be involved with the Six Nations. He was going to be on the Irish team. That was almost a shoo-in, and then he wasn't. And he didn't go to the World Cup, and he didn't do all that. And I think that deflated him big time. And he's only now coming back into his skin. With Kendellen at the moment, Kendellen is on fire at the moment. He's been given captaincy roles, and he seems to be relishing it, you know, which is great to see. I mean, but Kendellen last season was, you know, was only floating, but that's because
he was okay last season.
But that's what, you know, a difference a season can make is when you get a season like R2 under your belt, it makes an awful difference. I think, anyway. You know, for your confidence, it's all about confidence. A lot of it is down to confidence. I'm convinced of that. Like, I mean, Keith Earls was a great example of that.
Thing,
like,
Dave,
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry.
The only thing, Dave, I said the only thing going against Kendellen or whatever way you pronounce it, is the position he's vying for. Yeah.
Well, look. I mean, we seem to have in Ireland at the moment. We seem to have so many of them. Back row is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, you know, I mean, even Robin Connacht, that led Prendergast, he's unbelievable. I think he's an amazing player, but he's down the pecking order. I mean, let's call it a spade. I mean, no matter. I mean, if a player is playing for. Gets the privilege of playing for his province is a great achievement, obviously. But every player wants to play for their country.
Yeah.
But at the moment, there's so many players in vying for those three positions that, you know, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
That one, Joe.
Yeah. You see Joe Lyons there. Read that, Dave. There, Joe Lyons.
Lennon is class. How are most
Coombs,
Gleeson, Coombs seems to be one trick, but Gleeson is really class and he's way better overall game. Gleeson is a fantastic player, great young fella, coming through great at the moment. Yeah. Coombs is not a one-trick pony. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I mean, as I said, it goes back to the one-trick pony scoring tries. Jesus, I mean, at one stage the French were giving out because of the way he was scoring tries. And then they were saying that because he was using his arm to lift himself up. Do you know? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you're getting really, really, really getting into the nitty gritty of it, you know. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think that way anyway. I don't. I mean, it is, but it's a good thing to have. In my view. McCann and Ulster, yes.
There's another one, Dave. Can't forget. Yeah, McCann Ulster. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Come here, and we'll end it on. Geez, we're 10 minutes over time, and I really want to ask you this
No
because
better.
I know you've been to so many away.
Yeah.
You've been to so many away games. You've been to so many away
Yes.
games. What has been your favorite? What has been your favorite stadium?
Favorite stadium? Wow. Millennium.
No, it could be Thomond, Dave. I don't know.
That's not. Yeah, but that's not in a way.
I know, but I mean, I know
You
that,
said
but
away stadium.
No, but in general, no. I was
Oh, in
saying I know
general.
you've been to a lot of away
Oh,
games, so
sorry.
you've been to a lot. You've
Yeah.
been to a lot of
But my favorite
stadiums.
stadium, the favorite stadium ever
Yeah.
to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomond Park. With the atmosphere alone, like it's just unnatural. Like, you know, I mean, and you know,
Okay.
even down to
Okay. Outside of Ireland, Dave.
outside of Ireland. I would say the Shark Stadium in Durban. Crazy stadium being swimming pools down one end.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. The Hobart Stadium in Durban. Crazy. Beautiful stadium.
Yeah, I've never been. I've seen it on the TV, obviously, but I've never been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nuts.
Do you know what? Actually, we'll end it here because we're way over time as always. I've asked several. The question I asked you earlier on, Dave, about who your current favorite player is. I've asked a couple of Munster, one Ulster, and one Connacht supporter, and they've all said the same person for their current favorite player, Dan Sheehan.
Right. Yeah.
There you
Fantastic.
go. Just thought I'd
absolutely fantastic player.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the ex-players, yeah, they can be anything from John Muldoon to Axel Foley, Brian O'Driscoll, Ruan Pienaar are all in the mix there. When you
Paul O'Connell, you mean there's a list you could go down through there. I mean, it's just
Paul O'Connell, yeah. Paul O'Connell.
I mean, Paulie's
it's a
different level.
It's a personal choice at the end of the day, Dave.
It is.
Paul O'Connell was a fantastic player. You know, he really was. Listen, Dave, hold on. One last comment from Joe, and then I'll let you go. What's Joe saying now? Even as a blue, Paul O'Connell all day. Fair enough, Joe. Yeah, we're not disagreeing with you there on that one, Joe. Paul O'Connell all day. Yeah. Listen, Dave, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
It's been my pleasure chatting with you, and thank you very much for your time. And hopefully we will meet at a game, and we'll have that long-awaited pint that we've promised.
Exactly. Definitely.
Listen, Dave,
definitely.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and you take care of yourself, lad. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, boy. Take care.
Thanks,
all
Dave.
the best.